Okay, we've completed the setup steps. We've entered our GPS locations for the field, the soil type, the initial soil moisture, and the rooting depth and things like that. Those are things you do either in the off season or at the beginning of the season in case of planting date. The only thing you have to do during the season is irrigation, or may possibly change the rainfall amount if you don't agree with or the rain gauge disagrees with what the Weather Service shows. So for that, you click on the Add Irrigation Rain, and then you have here's a list of all the fields that I have, and say I click Marsh Field Pivot 4, and say then I go. And this is towards the end of the season. We're in September now, so we've had a dry time, so there's no rainfall there, and we haven't been irrigating this field because that corn crop is almost done, or we're getting ready to harvest it. But if, say this is Monday, say it rained yesterday, but the Weather Service didn't show that it did, and say it rained a quarter an inch, say, and say I had other fields around it, say these other fields that also had the same amount of irrigation, so that I don't have to go through every field and do this. This is a time-saving thing, or you can, if you want to, select every one of them if they're all fields real close together in the same amount, and then you push Submit. So it showed that there's a quarter inch rainfall yesterday that didn't actually happen. And say today I wanted to irrigate, and I go over and under field irrigation in the green column, I click on in that cell, and I had a default irrigation of 3/4 of an inch there. Maybe I didn't actually irrigate that much. Maybe I irrigated an inch there. So I typed that in, and then say I had some other fields that I wanted to put the same amount in, I would push Submit for them too. Click on it. So then it shows, there's my, or if I say I got behind and I want to look at other days, I can go all the way back from planting. We planted in April the 25th. This is showing the amount of National Weather Service, what it said, and then, so like here, the National Weather Service said that we got 1.82 inches. Our rain gauge said 1.7, so we're really close. And but since we're doing research, we're trying to get it exactly the same. But for a farmer, that's probably close enough. You see, scrolling through here, and these are irrigations that we made through the season. So that's the process. If once you set these up at the beginning of the season, and then this is the thing that you want to do during the season. You can do this, like you say, you do it on your cell phone. Also, if you're out there in the field, what I recommend is when you push the button on the pivot or push the button on the power unit, go ahead and put this so you don't forget about it. So it's if you're putting the same amount of water every time, then it's real easy. You just say irrigate, submit, and you're done. So the next thing we're going to look at is actually monitoring the field to decide whether or not to irrigate or not, which is field status and farm summary.